Bitcoin is pumping like crazy back above 80,000 US dollars and stocks are rallying also after Donald Trump published his plans to delay the reciprocal tariffs against almost every country except for China. And this was exactly the news that we were waiting, hoping and speculating for. And now it really paid off to buy the dip, and our long position is now up 15,000 US dollars in the last 3 days. And now we all have the question in our minds, is this a long-term pump? Is this really the early beginning of the comeback into new all-time highs? Is the Donald Trump news and the tariffs the #1 priority for the market now, because also we see a strong relief rally in the stock market? Or will we get back to reality and also see the CPI data, the new FOMC meeting statistics and probability of a rate cut? Will this take the new #1 place in priorities and will also give us a few problems in the next coming weeks? I'm gonna show you exactly what price targets I think Bitcoin could hit still in this week, what furthermore can come into place if we see best case scenarios, and what price targets I'm going to take profits on my 150,000 US dollar big long position. And I'm going to show you all the speculation that is now around about Bitcoin and the market. So welcome guys on the channel, and thank you for tuning in on our market analysis for Bitcoin and also the whole market conditions that are now running into place, because we saw a huge correction since the all-time highs. That was the point, the Trump inauguration, where we took the last profits on our $100,000 of long positions, and now we really were speculating where could be the bottom, and the first sign is like this upwards tick that we saw overnight. What really happened is just the market was shocked. We were all shocked of this reciprocal tariffs, probably higher inflation, which also Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, said, okay, we are already with these tariffs expecting a higher inflation. We are also expecting a slowdown in the economy, and this is a mixture of worst case scenario, high inflation, no rate cuts, and we're gonna be screwed up in the markets, because that's the exact opposite of what we are hoping for, to see strong gainers in the market. And yeah, the only strong gainer was unfortunately gold, which means there is flight into safety, which is gold and unfortunately not Bitcoin. But now we saw a plot twist. Donald Trump and China, they peaked already into making the highest tariffs that we've ever seen in the markets, and everyone was scared of huge inflation numbers, whatever import-export problems that could happen and occur and slow down the economy and also crash our prices in the markets. And now this news that the tariffs will be deducted to almost every country to 10% and also delayed about 90 days. And Donald Trump's team calls it the art of the deal. He made everyone completely scared, because the US is the world's strongest economy and they can do literally whatever they want, and they will go out as the winner, because every other country would lose even more. Even though the US gets damaged and slowed down, every other country would have more problems. So the US and Donald Trump made use of this, and now they got like a plot twist. They got everyone to negotiate about the tariffs that are put on the US, so they will not get any tariffs from the US. And this was a very strong deal that Donald Trump could make now. And the markets, which seemed dead and completely crushed, finally got the pulse back into their structure. And now we are talking about future price targets that probably our long position will now crush completely into it. By the way, if you have not opened a WEEX account to trade Bitcoin, to trade altcoins, just use the link down in the video description below. You can open a long position without any KYC. You will get a deposit bonus up to $5,000. Just put your first deposit with the link in the descriptions on WEEX, and then you will get a 101 free long or short position on your first deposit amount, like deposit $100, $1,000 or $5,000. You will get exactly the amount that you deposited in a free short and long position, which has a higher leverage, which is attractive for extreme speculation on volatility. And then all profits you can withdraw, you can buy Bitcoin with it. And if you lose the trade, it will not even matter, because it was just a bonus trade. So use the chance. And now I'm gonna get into my price targets. We still have a CME gap up to 84,400 US dollars. And we also see from the all-time high, there is a huge resistance which could get broken exactly with the close of the CME gap at these prices of $48,400. And if we break the downtrend with reaching the CME gap of 84,400, this could really make a rally up to at least 90,000 US dollars because of all the liquidations. We all know that market makers will benefit the most out of every move and out of every price action, and we saw a huge liquidations of long positions while crashing down to 76, and everyone was long and got liquidated completely hard. And now we also see short positions stacking up at the $90,000 price area, which is exactly the reason why this is a price target. So I'm gonna take profits at this price area of slightly below 90,000 US dollars, because most of the people will lose money, so the short positions should get liquidated. This does not mean yet that we'll see 100% new all-time high in the next few weeks or months. We still have a lot of liquidations also to the downside. So the speculation on volatility is probably the winning speculation. In which direction we will finally move, we will never know, but in the end we probably see all-time highs sooner than later. The probability of Bitcoin going to zero is by far not that realistic as the probability that Bitcoin will go above 100 and 110,000 US dollars and see new all-time highs. I think we all agree on this. So my point is following. I will take the next take profit of our long position at 90,000 US dollar, and then we have at least a third of the chips out of the trade. We can still wait and see very patiently what happens next. Because if we break the $90,000 levels, yes, we are again in our all-time high consolidation between 110 and $90,000, and we will see the price ranging. Maybe we get the sell-off, and yes, then we again buy exactly the bottom. Whenever it's the time for it, I will tell you exactly when I'm entering in again on the Bitcoin price. And if we break to the upside, we are well positioned in many long trades. After the taking profit at 90K, I will still be over 2 Bitcoins in long positions, which could really help extremely in our portfolios. By the way, what about the altcoins? I shorted Ethereum the last weeks extremely strong. I made a good amount of profit, but now we got like stopped out on the last chance of selling Ethereum. For the altcoin season and all this altcoin stuff, I would be really careful. Many people are waiting for an altcoin season, and we all know it can just happen if Bitcoin really explodes. If Bitcoin is overheated, then there is a slight chance to see a hint of an altcoin season. Probably there will just not be every altcoin exploding. It's just a little amount of altcoins that really perform well. That maybe like out of 100 altcoins, you will see a few doubling, a few will just make 50%, and 1 or 2 or 3 coins maybe will make a 10x, a 50x. Very small probability. So I don't think there will be a too aggressive altcoin season. So if we all know that we only see an altcoin season if Bitcoin gets overheated, my bet is following. I just put the long position on the coin that will for sure go up when an altcoin season occurs, and this coin is Bitcoin, of course. Why should I take the risk and pick out of a million altcoins a few and hope they will go up in an altcoin season when I exactly know the reason why altcoin season occurs is when Bitcoin rises the strongest and overheats? So I'm putting a long position on the winning coin, which is Bitcoin. We all see this in the Bitcoin dominance. What could be a danger for our plan and like also wreck altcoins much more than Bitcoin if we don't see follow-up volume? Yes, the meaning and priority of Donald Trump's tariffs is immensely high, but we all know the Bitcoin before Donald Trump reacted to the FOMC meetings, so the CPI data, to the PCE data, and tomorrow we will see new inflation numbers. And what we are all hoping for is lower inflation and a possible rate cut as soon as possible. About the rate cuts, I will talk about right now, because what we expected is high tariffs will maybe lead to an emergency meeting of the FOMC, of the Federal Reserve. But now we all see the probability it went down really hard, so we will not see a rate cut in May. Also, if the inflation numbers are very good and low inflation, we probably won't see a rate cut. The Federal Reserve will take as much time as possible to not make wrong decisions. Maybe it's a wrong decision to keep the rates high and don't cut it yet, but so far they're just taking a step back and watching the market see everything getting out of control, and they will keep like their joker card in the pocket of making rate cuts when it's necessary. So this is like not really what we want to see, that we don't see a rate cut probability which is high. It's really low. It's under 30%, maybe it's under 20% already. This is like a point where we can get a quick reaction, maybe a shock momentum, maybe a pump momentum when the market market will realize, okay, the Trump tariffs was just a lot of noise in the market, and now what? We will not see a rate cut because of this. Trump didn't meet his target. He just got into negotiations with other countries, which is very good for lower prices maybe also. In addition to it, the oil prices went down, so it's okay, but we did not get the real deal like a rate cut from the Federal Reserve, which Trump also really aggressively posted and said, Jerome Powell, it's time to cut rates. So we will have to wait on this, which will be also a very, very big catalyst for positive market momentum, but it's still not really on the horizon. So this is my strategy for now. We will take profits early. We will start buying the dip. Whether we go up or we will go down, we will benefit anyways from the whole volatility. In our gridbot section, you can see we buy every single dip, every little momentum to the downside and upside. We take profits completely, and the positions, the long positions that we started at $98,900, where Bitcoin made over 25% correction, is now break even. It's slightly 1% below entry. So we have time, we have the strategy, and we benefit from all the volatility. If you want to see a gridbot tutorial, I can upload it on English. It's a very successful video on my German channel. So if you're interested in making benefits of every volatile move, just let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get more updates like this, and we will see each other in the next video very soon. I wish you all the best and profit with your investments. Don't forget to subscribe, and best luck for your portfolio. Bye bye. Ciao, ciao.